Thinking about leaving your soul-sucking 9-to-5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9-to-5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand-holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode.
You're listening to the Hello CS Dorsey podcast, your one-stop shop for all things motivating while on your entrepreneur journey. Feeling stuck in your business or don't know where to start? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Listen to some of the leading women in today's industry who have been there before to help guide you on your path. Now, here's your host and self-taught web designer, CS Dorsey.
Welcome back to another episode of the Hello CS Dorsey podcast. I have Judy Weber here with us today. Hi, Judy. How are you doing today?
Hey, Candace. I am great. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. So could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. My name, as Candace said, is Judy Weber, and I am a Christian business coach. So I help ambitious Christian women build thriving businesses while living the extraordinary life that Christ has for them. And so I get to kind of pull in all of my past experience and help women to, first of all, get the right mindset, gain the confidence, and then, throw in that piece of growing your faith as well, because I'm all about faith plus business. And then, of course, we add to that the layer of proven business strategy to build a thriving 6 or even 7-figure business. And I obviously love what I do. I really feel like, Candace, it's amazing. I feel like all of my life experiences, good, bad, and otherwise, kind of led me to this, because I feel like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now and exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Isn't it amazing when you finally find that thing that you love so much? And it takes years. I'm still trying to figure it out, and I'm still trying to find it.
Yeah. It took me 54 years to figure it out, because I think women tend to be multi-passionate. And I know we talked before we hit record, like, you're a multi-passionate woman. We have so many talents and abilities, and it's like, okay, now how do I bring it all together,
Right. I completely agree. So for everyone out there, and I'm kind of pivoting a little bit, for everyone out there, could you please tell our listeners what steps did you take to actually know, and what was that feeling like when you knew that, yes, this is it?
Wow. Well, a lot of thinking. In a past life, I say, I was a trial lawyer. And so I'm a very logical thinker. And I that's one of the things that I bring to my clients, that, a lot of these gurus out there, God bless them, everybody has their methodology. But for me, a big part of my client success is taking time to step back before we speed up. Step back and really think and pray and consider, like, what are all my strengths? Because, each one of us has that special, unique genius, I call it, and that plus other abilities, as we just talked about. So for me personally, I would say it was just years of knowing that even as a little girl, I always had like a special place in my heart for women. So I've always been a women's advocate. So that has always been kind of a direction of my life, no matter what I was doing. But really, the light bulb went off just this past summer when I decided to pivot from focusing only on real estate in business with my twin sister to going out on my own, branching out from real estate, but focusing in on Christian women who really wanted to honor God with their businesses.
That's amazing. I love that. I love the mission and what you stand for. I really love that. So tell us something about yourself that most people do not know.
Oh my goodness, what would they not know? See, that's hard, Candace, because I'm an open book. And I tell my clients and the ladies in my Facebook group, I'm like, ladies, there has never been a better time for you to just let your hair down and be you than right now. I graduated college in the late 80s and I feel like I was all IBM'd. What I mean by that is, everything back then was all buttoned up and you had to talk a certain way and be a certain way and look a certain way. And so now I just let it all hang out. So like what people don't know about me, that's fun. Well, maybe I will say this. I'm a Francophile, which means I love all things French. My daddy, who passed many moons ago, was half French. And so I really I just love the countryside. I love Paris. I love the language. I have a lot of French decor. Of course, it's like reproduction. It's not real. But I would say that's something that people might not know.
So you've been to France and traveled to those different places as well?
Well, there's a funny story about that. When I was 15, my high school band, which is, in the middle of nowhere, in the suburb of a suburb of a suburb of Philadelphia, we give directions to the house and we'd say, go 2 cows and then hang a left and then 2 pigs and hang a right. I mean, I'm talking like country kind of place. But in our high school band, we took a trip to Europe. And so, yes, I was in Paris when I was 15, but ask me if I remember anything about it. The answer is not much. And I've got to get back there again.
Oh, yes, definitely with all this going on, you definitely have to plan a trip soon. I mean, and it's so funny. Well, it's not funny, but this is the first year that, my mom and I are not going to have like our big trip and we're not going to be able to go to Reno like we normally do. But I said, you know what, when all this is over with, I'm doing it big next year. I was able to transfer my timeshare points over to and really roll over to the next year and let that accumulate. I said, we're doing 2 trips next year.
Good for you. Yeah, we deserve it after this. My goodness.
Yes, and you do too. So plan that trip.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Talk to me. Talk what I need. That's good.
So I'm all about helping women take action in their business, their life, or in their health. What advice could you give to our listeners out there on how they can take action just in general in those particular categories?
Oh, wow. How much time do we have? So I have many mantras that, if you follow me, you're in my Facebook group, you're on my Instagram, whatever, you would know these little Judy-isms. And one of them is imperfect action. Like what I find in my clients and students and friends is that, a lot of us women, we're perfectionists. And I'm a recovering perfectionist because I don't know about you, Candace. Are you also? You tend to be? Yeah. So, it's like I can't actually launch my website until it's perfect. And I can't send out that email until I make sure like 3 times that there's no typos. And oh my goodness, I can't, actually sell my services, even though I'm really good because, my marketing page isn't ready or my whatever. So I always encourage every woman that I meet, look, only Jesus is perfect. And he made you perfectly imperfect. So don't get all bogged down on, gosh, I have to make it pretty with a bow and it has to be perfect. Nothing is. So if you want to write that book, just start writing and reach out to publishers. If you want to start that business, then you know what? Guess what? You don't even need a website. Leadpages.com, or rather leadpages.net is your friend. And really just word of mouth. If you want something, you've got to just go for it. So imperfect action is huge. And the other big thing that I'm all about is do it afraid. It is so easy to look at anybody we admire, any influencer, name it, whatever the industry. And we look at them and we say, wow, how did they get there? They made it look so easy. And how do they do so many videos? I don't like the way I look. And what if I mess up on the live and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I interviewed, before I started my coaching business many years ago, I interviewed some of the best people in real estate, like in the top 100 across the nation. What I heard time and time again is they do it, even though they don't want to. They do it, even though they're afraid. They're just like you and me. They're afraid, but yet they have the courage to just do it anyway. And so those 2 pieces of information, do it afraid, imperfect action. Now is the time. Why wait until tomorrow?
I love it. I love the perfectly imperfect. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because, God doesn't make mistakes.
That's
So
right.
how you are made, no matter, I'm 54. I'm not liking the way things are sagging and bagging and all that, but God made me perfectly, but it's imperfectly perfect, just the way I'm supposed to be. And when I fully embrace that and go all in on who he made me to be, that gives me what my friend Carla George says, Godfidence. I love that. Instead of confidence, your confidence comes through Christ and who you are in him. So that's the whole Godfidence thing, to just do it afraid, imperfect. That's fine.
I love it because, I was like that. I still am a little bit to a certain degree.
We
And
all are.
even though a lot of things have gone on, even with the COVID-19 and everything, it has truly been a blessing for me. And
Mhm.
things have opened up, things that have happened for me that I probably wouldn't have, done it like last year or years before because my mindset wasn't right. If I can, put it
Yeah.
to that perspective, my mindset wasn't right. Yes, I am saved. Yes, I am a Christian. Yes, I do have the Holy Ghost. But at the same time, and it's so funny, I just talked to my mom about this just a few minutes ago. I'm constantly growing and learning and understanding. And I'm still in that mindset, like I was before, but not so much, because now I'm like, okay, let me dive in this little bit, not all in. I'm still dipping my toes in the pool. I'm not diving yet.
Uh-huh.
But I'm taking little baby steps, like, okay, let's see what happens if I do this. And then I'm like, oh, well, that happens. Well, let's inch it a little bit more. Let's increase it a little bit more to see what happens if I do X. So it's all about starting small. You can, hey, if you want to start big, go for it. But
Mhm.
I find that if you start little by little and step by step, you tend to stick with it longer and it lasts longer as
I
well.
love it. Yes, yes. I love that. And another Judaism is improve your business 1% every day. Do that little step. And imagine after 100 days, which is just over 3 months, look at how far you've come. And another thing is, like, as I work with my clients, it's funny because I realize they a lot of times they're doing a lot right. And
Right.
so to get it to that next level isn't like some big, like, move a big mountain. It's really just tweaking little things that make that big difference. So I love that. Start small and step by step. Yes,
Step by
ma'am.
step. That's all it takes. And you will find out that you won't get so frustrated so quick, because I'm a big frustrator. I'm a person that's like, oh, it's not working. I got to do something else. But having patience with myself and understanding that things are not going to happen overnight. And do I fault the media and, the influencers and everything for not being transparent with people and like tell them, hey, I was living on the side of the road and it took me like 20 years to get to where I'm at. It didn't happen overnight. No, they go dead smack into saying, I can show you how to make six figures. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but let's keep it real. I make six figures, but what am I actually bringing home? My business is, doing $100,000 in revenue, but what am I going to bring home? Like, what's actually going into my pocket? And, people aren't
Right.
transparent about that,
Oh, yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
weekly tangent. I've been on a tangent about that all week, and I don't know why.
No, but I totally agree. I totally agree, Candace, where people just kind of, don't you love those webinars when they say, make an extra, how about this one? Make an extra six figures this month. I mean,
Ugh,
come on.
I know. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Okay, so what advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
Well, 10 years ago, I was going through a tough divorce. So, it's one of those things too, where it's like, I guess I would say, enjoy every day and don't worry. I think we spend too much time with the what ifs, and that gets in the way of joy on the day to day. It's funny, my three boys, the youngest is going to be 19 in July. I cannot even believe it. I just think back when they were little and I was stressed out, and gosh, I just wish that I had then the wisdom that I have now, which is not going to be little for long. Enjoy this. And so I think that while I think everyone who's a mom can relate to that example, even in the day to day, we're entrepreneurs and we're going to have those amazing days and we're going to have those days that are just so tough. But we should try to find the amazingness of every day and really go all in on that. Like, I think that's one of my gifts where I'm all about celebrating, not just the big wins, but the little ones. And if I would have known that back then, I think that would have made life better and a heck of a lot more joy filled.
That's true. Could you give us some tips or some ways of how we can celebrate those little wins?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. That's good. I think that let's take an entrepreneur, for example. I'm all about setting up little rewards for yourself. And again, whether it's small or big. So the reward will be kind of comparable to the size win. If it's tough for you to, for example, pick up the phone and follow up with people in your pipeline, but you say, I'm going to make, 20 calls, 30 calls, whatever it is, and you actually do it, I think in order to celebrate that, you should give yourself a little win. That could be a little extra dessert. That could be, back when we were able to get out of the house, maybe going to TJ Maxx and buying yourself something under $20, just something to incentivize you to do what you know you need to do, but you really don't want to do, as an example. And that'll kind of help you to celebrate that win, which is kind of little. Now, if you have a, revenue goal for the month, and that's a pretty aggressive revenue goal, then I think you should also, again, set up yourself for a reward. If I say I'm going to make $30,000 this month in revenue and I have my eye on a certain handbag, well, then maybe if that'll help you to get to that plateau, then maybe you should do that. But I'm not into like necessarily money gifts. I'm also into like, if you're like me and you don't get to spend a whole lot of time with the hubs on a normal time when you're not locked in the house together, then maybe you want to say, if I have that $30,000 month, then, we're going to go away for a weekend. We're going to go to New York. We're going to go to wherever you'd like to go, guilt-free, and enjoy. So when you do those things, whether they be big or little, I found that really helps. And I'll tell you this, everything that happens in me in a day, I literally pat myself on the back and I say, good job. Because if I do something, I'm rewarding my action, not necessarily the result. So for example, if you have a launch of a product and you had a goal of who knows what, and you didn't hit it, that's not time for mourning. That's time for celebrating the fact that you, again, as we talked about earlier, took action even before you were ready, and you did everything you could, and you showed up, and you served, and you did great, and you need to celebrate that. And then next month, you just try it again, or next quarter, whenever it is, you try it again. So those are a couple of examples of really celebrating all that you're doing, because it is not easy to be an entrepreneur. There is a lot of stuff coming at us. A lot of people have hands in our pockets, right, for the different apps and the software and the blah, blah, blah. So we need to, kind of incentivize us to keep on going.
This is really encouraging because I am like right in the middle of launching a mini course, and I've done courses before, but I really haven't did it in this way where I'm teaching from my own self. So I'm teaching from what I do versus if I get the information, okay, I'm teaching somebody how to do it. And I think in previous courses, that's what I was doing. And of course, didn't know how to promote it. But this time it's completely different because I'm doing it from what my perspective and what I do. I'm going to show you how I do it. All of us, I did it in 1 week, and I'm like, okay, the next is this, the next is this. But I need to get my mindset of celebrating my wins, because I came this far. Like I have beta testers that are testing the course, and in previous course, I didn't even have that.
Great. That is so great.
Yeah, I didn't even have that in previous course. So I'm like, okay, Candace, little by little. And like we talked about earlier, but since you mentioned the incentivize yourself, I'm like, what am I going to give myself if I finish all of this?
That's right. That's right. Because, one of my coaches is James Wedmore, and he is really big on saying when you look at a result and you call it a win or a loss, that's like a label that you put on it. Because let's say if you wanted to make, $10,000 in a launch, but you only make eight, is that really a loser? No, you're not a
No.
loser, right? Or even if you make four instead of the 10. Wait a minute, that's $4,000 because of something that you came up with, something that you carried through. And so you're serving all those people and you made those kind of dollars. So he's like, the result is what the result is. And we shouldn't like label it a loss. I believe we should label it everything a win. And that would be something that he would say too, where, pat yourself on the back for what you've done and just know that from here, great. Then we look and we say, how can I tweak it? How can I make it better? And then you keep doing and you do it again and again and again until you kind of figure it out and tweak it.
Yeah, that's really encouraging. And yeah, I've heard of James Whitmore. That's why when you said that, I said, hey, I know that name.
Yes. He's a little woo-woo with his stuff. Like, he's all about law of attraction, which I do not, I'm not into that at all. But, his ideas there on the way of really looking at business and the whole mindset piece of it as it relates to, hey, look what you've done. You better know that what you've done, how many other people, what's the percentage of people who actually do what they say they want?
That's true. That is so true.
I have some followers from back in the day, like they're with me 3 or 4 years and they have not opened their wallets once. And that's not what I'm all about. But these are the same people that are struggling. So they're like repeating year one. So they're in business for 4 or 5 years, but they keep repeating year one and they're not getting anywhere and they're struggling. And I'm just like, I could help you. Please let me help you. And so, so they say they want the business, but yet they're not investing in themselves. And I invested tens of thousands, over $100,000 over the years because I really was all in. And so, yeah, mindset, that is huge, Candace. That is where it all begins.
Yeah, it is. And, going back to when you said those people don't want to, basically invest in themselves, I was one of them. I was one of them. It wasn't until this year, I tell you, I thank the Lord so much for this year. Wasn't until this year I said, okay, I think I need some sort of coach, because I was the type of person who was like, oh no, I don't need that. I'm not gonna spend money on that. I could do this by myself. But then I thought about that this year and I said, yeah, I can't do this by myself. I can't do this alone. I need help. I need somebody that's gonna hold me accountable and hold me to the things that I say that I want to do. And so I did find me a coach. She is so adorbs. I love her so much. And, I've been with her now for, I think, 4 months, and things have changed so much in my mindset thinking and, just being positive and knowing that I can do things. We pray and, we read Bible, we read scriptures and everything, but it's nice to have that person that's beside you, that's cheering you along or rooting you along. You tend to feel a little bit more better about the things that you're doing. And, especially if it's positive, I'm all about getting like an accountability partner, and I have one of those too. I have a coach and accountability partner. So you can tell I'm hoping for big things this year. I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing about a coach, and that's why I felt like I needed to invest, and I did years ago. I needed to invest to walk my talk, because what we do is like we're the 30-foot view. And sometimes we can't see what's right in front of you. I was talking to a client today, and I forget exactly what the example was, but she's like, oh my gosh, that was right in front of my face. Like, how could I miss that? And I said, this is the value of coaching, where we sit back and evaluate things that sometimes you're just too in the thick of it to see.
Right. Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah. So let's talk about your Facebook group. Could you tell everyone about your group?
Yes. All right. Well, I have two, and I'll focus on the Christian one because that is where I spend most of my time right now. I actually started a group that now has over 28,000 women across the world. I think pretty much every country is accounted for, and that is for women in real estate. That's called Girls Guide to Outrageous Real Estate Success. So real estate agents and brokers and stagers and title and all that stuff are there. But when I pivoted this past summer, and felt called to focus on Christian fempreneurs, as I call it. Now that Facebook group, it's free and it's called Blessed to Thrive Community. Blessed to Thrive. And thrive is like my word. And so they kind of hijacked it now during COVID. Everybody's talking about thriving. But in the Facebook group, Blessed to Thrive Community, we have just over 2,400 ladies that we just passed that today. I'm so excited. And it's not about the number, though. It's about the quality. And just a few days ago, I asked the ladies, tell me your impression of this group. Like, what do you think the group is all about? What have you experienced? And, positivity, Jesus, encouragement, never shaming. This is a place where everybody, lifts each other up, and where you serve, they're talking about me. I have what I call Thriver Thursday lives, where every Thursday at 11 a.m. I go live in the group. And it's where you go every Thursday for powerful business strategy and to grow your walk with Christ. So it's always faith and business. So in there, I just finished a challenge, I guess 2 weeks ago. It was called the Get More Clients Now challenge. So I like to have those kinds of things going on. I'm about to start a 31 days of leads throughout the month of May. Every day I'm going to go live in the group with a lead gen activity that I want the ladies to implement. I want to get them into the habit of, doing things, again, that they may not like to do, that may be scary. And also, I'm thinking I'm going to be introducing some activities that they may not have thought of on their own. So I am constantly in there serving as a teacher, as a accountability partner, really, because I push the ladies. Hey, what'd you do this week? Tell me your wins. Hey, where are you struggling? So that's the atmosphere, and it's a true sisterhood. It's a true sisterhood. So I'm just so excited about it.
That's good. I love communities like that, where everyone is helping one another and want to see, others be successful. I love groups like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, there's some people that I kick out of the group. I mean, I am serious when I say only positive. No, I mean, I want us to be real. There are sometimes some posts, even myself, where I'm like, I had a tough day. And, we talk about our challenges, but it's never drama. Have you ever been in groups, Candace, where there's like, oh my goodness, so much drama. And then there's like
Yes.
cat fighting. And I'm like, oh, no, that is not happening inside my group.
Yes. And I have a few of them that I need to be out of.
Yes.
I need to hit the door.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So where can everyone find you?
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, I guess on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, my handle is @Judy Weber Live. So that's JUDYWEBER Live, @Judy Weber Live. As I said, my Facebook group is Blessed to Thrive Community. So if you put that in, you will find me. And my website is my name, judy-weber.com. And I have a freebies page on there that has a bunch of really cool, freebies, opt-ins. I have a branding, It's a branding guide to create your brand. I have an email growth checklist to grow your email. I have a generate consistent revenue, 6-figure revenue kind of guide also in there. And you know what I really, really love? I have an entrepreneurial quiz. So that if you want to know what your entrepreneurial personality or style is, that's there for you as well. So check that out.
Oh, I love that. I love quizzes.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Good.
Yeah, because you never know. You think that you're trying to do something, and you may be good in a different area, and you're trying to find yourself in your niche, and trying to figure out what is it you want to do as an entrepreneur. So I think that's really awesome. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Yeah.
And there's one more thing now, when you're talking about like figuring out your niche. I have an audio training, which is about 45 minutes. And in that audio training, I call it How to Make Sure Your Business Succeeds. And in there, I take you through an exercise to discover your unique genius, that special something. Because some ladies, they just take for granted, hey, I've always been good at X, and they think everybody else is. And they don't realize, oh my goodness, that may be the gift that God wants me to share with the rest of the world. So that audio training is another good one. It also comes with a guide, like a, I don't know, 12-page guide or something too. So yeah, a lot of freebies on my page.
That's really good. I could play in freebies all day, so I'm definitely going to check you. I'm definitely going to check those out.
You're going to love it.
I know I'm weird. I'll just play in people's freebies and just, play around their websites, see, what else they have, because it's inspiring and also give me ideas on what, type of freebies I can do for my website. So that's why I like going to other people's websites to see, what do they have? Maybe I could try that too.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on today's show. And I really enjoyed our conversation. I really did.
Well, thank you, Candace. I what I love about you? You're real. And I so appreciate that. And thank you so much for the opportunity to come on your show. I listen to it all the time. And I so appreciate what you're doing. And so thank you very, very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I didn't know I had a fan.
Yes, you have a fan. Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the show today. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episodes and more. Head over to hellocsdorsey.com to subscribe. And remember, nothing is impossible. So make the impossible possible and take action today. We'll see you next time.